Hey everyone, it's Kat Kruger, your DM at D20 Dames. For the past 2 episodes, we've aired some special one-shot adventures. First with our Emerald City Comic Con live show, then with the Podcasts of Foes special we did in partnership with Wizards of the Coast. This week, the Dames have earned some more downtime after their encounter with the hags in Neverwinter Wood. Let's see what they get up to. Let's start off by introducing everyone at the table.
Hi, my name is Jen Vaughn, and I play Riot Bonezerker, a winged tiefling ranger.
Hi, I'm Meris Mullaley, and I am playing Rose Lau, a human monk.
Hey, I'm Essie Hollman. I'm playing Navarre Moore, a half-elf warlock.
Hi, I'm Brittni, and I am currently playing the NPC Sildar Hallwinter.
Excellent. So the last time the Dames were returning from another quest that was put forth by Sildar Hallwinter, you had gone to Neverwinter Wood in order to find an elf named Delcy, who Riot had met very briefly at the Sleeping Giant. You went into the forest, you solved some puzzles. You discovered that Delcy wasn't exactly what she had said she was, and it turned out she was a hag who was trying to get in with a coven and destroy Phandalin. And you managed to defeat her and saved a couple children along the way. And you return to Phandalin with the children, and you bring them to Sildar, and that's where we begin this downtime adventure. So,
Come, children!
So yeah, you are in Phandalin. You can find Sildar probably wrapping up for the day at the Townmaster's Hall, and you can catch him just as he's about to head home.
Ooh, Sildar, over here.
Ah, my adventuring friends. Where is Delcy? Tell me. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see her. The beautiful hair. Ooh. He's like looking around, like around you.
What if we said we got you a 2-for-1 deal instead?
2 for what? What is this?
And these two are sweeter than Delcy could have ever been, let me tell you.
I'm not collecting people. I don't know. There was a person who was lost, and then you found her, I assume, yes.
We
did.
Found her. That is correct.
Yes. She appears to have had more going on than any of us realized.
Yeah.
But I think this is a conversation for another moment. We have some small children here.
Oh, dear.
Remember the immaterial pilgrims that lost their children?
Wait, are you... They were gone for weeks? There's no way.
Sometimes there's a way.
But pinch him and find out.
Ephenia says, "Please don't pinch me."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Sildar, they've had a bit of a rough couple weeks.
Sildar, like out of the corner of his mouth, is like, I thought they were dead. This is
Not so much.
We stopped searching for them. This is a little awkward. Children, and he opens his arms, completely change of heart. Or come here. Let's get you warm. We'll have you. Just like completely flustered because he has no idea what to do, and he's kind of patting them into himself, like awkward uncle patting of backs. And I assume they're just like terrified.
Well, they were actually instructed at the end of the last episode to really play it up with Sildar, so
Yep.
they're just like pop pop.
That's right. Oh.
Yeah,
I mean, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah. No, he doesn't know that.
Sildar, these kids also Well, we kind of, we made a promise on your behalf, possibly, that they wouldn't go back to their parents because they're terrible.
No,
Riot tries to speak outside of her mouth. It doesn't work.
they weren't our parents. We were orphans.
They don't have parents.
You know, or parental figures. You know what I mean? I don't have parents either.
Staying on the air bay.
Guardians. Yes, the people that they were entrusted to care for them. They
The check collectors.
would rather not.
Okay, well, I don't know why this keeps happening to me, but we'll figure this all out. Like I said, the people you were with are long gone. We stopped looking for any of you, so you can stay here in town. Yes, we'll figure something out.
Maybe they could help Carp over at the Elderly Farm?
That is exactly what I was thinking, Rose. I will check with the Elderleafs. There are spare beds abound in Phandalin, so yes, of course. There's room for all here, and we'll figure that out. So Delcy is not with you? Is that what I'm?
She is not.
That out. Okay.
She seemed to have lost her way in
yeah.
more than one.
How about we buy you a drink
Okay.
and tell you everything?
Sounds great. That sounds. Just don't tell me she was a hag or something, because I can't take that. I can't take anything like that. Ooh. That's happened to me one too many times, if you know what I mean. So.
About that drink.
Make it a double.
Drinks on me, since I did offer you a reward if you brought Delcy back, and you have not. So,
Hey, I'll take a drink
I
instead.
will again, drinks on me, and we'll work something out with these children. Honestly, you should be giving me some money to take these children off your hands, but that's
Riot pulls out her notebook and goes, our secondary order was to find these kids, so technically.
they were surely dead. They were surely dead.
So you're saying
Puts her hands over the kid's ears.
I know their eyes are going a little wide. They're like, Ilmater has saved us.
We're so glad you're alive, though. That's all we have to say for it. The other town council members have already left. Otherwise, Sildar would not be acting like such a terrible person. He's not showing off for anyone. He's with his buds now.
Rose does not say this out loud, but we really hope he still considers us his friends. After drinks.
Oh yeah, he's in great spirits. He'll take the kids in and figure something out with them.
So, what do you want to do? Do you want to send the kids home and have Alana take care of them while you have drinks, or what do we want to do?
Yeah. Let's say that. I mean, yeah, we can figure it. I do like the idea of figuring out a situation with the Alderleaf family. Are these kids related? Are they brother and sister?
They are brother and sister.
Okay,
yeah.
so we can't like split them up. We can't.
They're a bonded pair.
Yeah. Brittni, they are brother and sister in trauma as well. So.
Oh man.
They will be an incredible team growing up.
Yeah, I'll have them go play with Alana and
A little slumber party.
Yeah, enjoy some company with my friends, my dear friends.
Oh yes.
I want to hear the story about Delcy, so that's definitely at least a few drinks.
So you can bring the kids over to your place, which is just sort of around the corner from the hall here, and then meet the ladies back at the Sleeping Giant.
Sounds good.
And again, the place is it's really busy. All the hobby characters that have been coming through town have really made this a watering hole. Grista behind the bar is really busy. Daver's nowhere to be seen, but his goods are there on display for purchase.
Rose walks over to the wall where there was the memorabilia and quotes about hags.
Yes.
Just to kind of double check notes.
Okay.
Like, yep. Okay.
Did you want me to repeat anything from the quote that was up there?
No, I think she just kind of wanted to just kind of,
Okay.
confirm that yes, in fact, that was, we're slowly checking off the Volo wall.
All right, so you can probably grab a table near the bar if you find.
Sildar's off fetching drinks for the crowd because drinks are on him tonight.
Sweet.
It's the least he can do. He also hands you. I think he'll hand Rose 50 gold pieces for the children.
Thank you.
Oh, that's
What a divisible number.
48 gold pieces.
Well, maybe we can donate to one
we'll
of each to the kids. So
there we go.
because they're gonna need it.
Yeah, get them on the right track. Get 'em
Lucky
some
gold
books.
coins. Navarre, when Sildar returns to the table, Navarre reaches her arm out for her flagon and says, "What'd you get me, Sildar?"
Oh, did you get us a trash can punch? It's just like, or a graveyard runoff. It's like the end of every bottle in here.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It's actually little like tiny flagons. They're just like shot
We're gonna do
glasses.
shots.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like that, eh? Well, then Navarre takes hers and holds it up, waiting for everyone to clank their little shot glasses. What's the thing they say in your region that's, celebratory, like cheers?
Ah, huzzah, of course.
All right. Huzzah!
Huzzah.
That felt real.
These are like huge shots.
We're role playing so hard.
I take my downtime seriously.
It's the most excellent Foley work in our downtime episodes.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's always drink related too. Which
I have nothing else.
She's always prepared for at least the one thing.
So, Sildar, what do you want to know about Delcy?
I mean, we can kind of fast forward, but I would love a little. What I imagine here is that the three of you are telling him this story, and he just has his arms on his elbows on the table and his hands up at his cheeks, and he's just wide-eyed, just like listening to this because he didn't know Delcy that well and didn't really care, but he was really hoping for a very good story, and you all are delivering on that desire.
I'd like to believe that we managed to tell this story without using the word Delcy was a hag.
It doesn't end with, well, she's alive. So.
Is she, though?
I thought she was dead.
Yeah.
Was she dead?
I don't think she's...
she
alive.
vanished into a puff of green smoke. So
That means
So-
nothing.
I mean, she's. That's a hag exit.
Oh yeah, that won't be the last we see of her, ladies. I'm sure of it. Green smoke. That's all. That's what they always leave you with. That and a hole in your heart, if you know what I mean.
Whoa.
Oh.
I don't want to. I don't want to
aware
talk
of that
about it.
detail.
It's fine. It's fine.
Next round's on us.
Sounds like you might have a story for us, Sildar.
Just they're masters of illusions. Those ones. Oof.
Yeah. How's your daughter doing?
Yeah.
She's great in her own way. She's great. She's really finding her way. I will tell you, we really have been bonding. She's very interested in weaponry and fighting. I gave her a short sword. It was, an old family heirloom. And I never imagined giving it to her. I didn't think she was interested at all, but she loves it, and she's, out in the backyard with it at all times and practicing, and we're doing lessons. It's it's great. Just not what I imagined I would be doing with my little girl, but she actually next time you see her, she's going by Winter.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love it.
it's beautiful.
Instead
right?
of Alana, Alana.
I think she was a little sick and tired of the pronunciation issues with her name. So, I called her Alana. Some people called her Alana. In Winter, you can only say it so many ways. So she was pretty smart picking that one. But I think it has some, emotional context to it as well, and I get it. She's finding herself, so yeah, I think that would be sweet if you all called her that next time you see her. I think that would really really add some shine to her pale cheeks. It's a little bit of rosiness there that has been missing for a while, but she's great. She's great.
but it sounds like she's happy overall and ish.
I don't want to say I've been snooping, but she's doing a lot of writing, and it's dark. I don't know if dark's the word. Brooding. It's not the happiest of the. It's not sunshine and rainbows, which she had been known for. People in town called her Sunshine and Rainbows. That's what they used to call her. They called her that. So.
Well, Sildar, she went through kind of a scary thing, so she just gotta work it. She just gotta work through it.
I know it. You're right. It's so nice to be able to talk to you, ladies, about this. It's just everyone in town's kind of avoiding me about this whole thing. Kind of pretending like it's not happening. But I appreciate this time we get to talk.
The Alana thing or the Delcy thing?
Oh! No one cares about Delcy here. Sorry, okay. She was in and out. We're another hag, another day. It's what Phandalin's all about, really. But yes, the Alana / Winter thing. People are giving me my space to figure it out. So it's just nice to have some people to talk to about it.
Yeah.
But she would love to see you all.
Neutral third parties.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of think she's doing a great job.
Well, it's probably why she likes you so much, Navarre. Does make a lot of sense.
She's got a good head on her shoulders, that one.
So, Sildar, I wanted to ask, because you sent us off after Delcy because she had been talking so much about dream stones, but because you sent us off so fast, we really didn't get a good idea of what dream stones were.
I truly do not know what dreamstones are. This is a thing Delcy was on and on about, and I haven't had a chance to, look in any books for such things. It's just not something that really piques my interest, let's say. But I've never heard of them in my travels. I have no idea. But she went on and on. Did you come across these dreamstones? Is this?
We came across some questionable stones.
Oh. You probably could go to a local merchant in town and see what they're about. It's just not my forte. It's not my specialty is stones or dreams or any of those things really.
His dreams died a long time ago.
Nothing but nightmares now, huh?
Yeah, Rose just kind of stares awkwardly into her flagon and continues to sip.
Yeah, those stones in particular were more like nightmare stones than dream stones, to be honest.
Well, but I guess if she was a hag, maybe everything was upside down.
Oh, you came right out there and said it, didn't you?
Oh, Rose.
Navarre just takes a big swig of whatever's close by.
Mead is currently running down Rose's face because she laughed so hard and looks quite embarrassed. Just gonna get myself another. How about I get everyone another round?
Yeah.
I'll be back.
So while
Yes,
Rose
please.
gets up, Sildar, you notice that there is a man an elderly man sitting in the corner of the room, sort of brooding. And you've seen him about town for the past little while. He's dressed in like a drooping wizard hat, long robe, silvery beard, and he's just smoking a pipe. And somehow he's shadowed, even though it's lit in here. And he just sort of puffs on his pipe and then just sort of wanders off.
So many strange people in and out of here. Let me tell you about it. Oy, 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 oy.
Is there anything else that we want to talk about in The Sleeping Giant, or can we...
Just when's a good time to visit Winter? Because we all want to make sure we catch her at a good time.
Oh,
And I have something for her.
No, anytime. Well, now we have to kind of acclimate these new children. But yeah, we'll be around all day tomorrow. It's day of rest for us, so we'll be home if you'd like to stop by.
Yeah, we'd like that.
That would be great.
Thank-
One thing, Navarre, another heads up on the winter front. She's been collecting bird feathers that she sees around town. At first, I thought it was adorable because she's, skipping about with a basket and collecting all these feathers. But then she started dyeing them black. Fun arts and crafts, sure. But this is a little something she's into. I think she's kind of taking a page out of your book. Maybe she's building something or getting into costuming. Rose, maybe that's something you could talk to her about. But so just another fun little tidbit about winter.
Navarre just does a little shoulder shimmy, and the feathers on her shoulders kind of, wiggle in the wind there, and she goes, yes, arts and crafts. I too like arts and crafts.
I see the appeal. I get it. It's a very good look. It's a good look for you, I will say.
Well, thank you. I'm sure it's a good look for Winter as well.
Yeah, I mean, maybe ask her about it. I don't know. It's just one more new thing, for her. A new fun thing for her. And he kind of just finishes his drink completely off. Kind of wipes his mouth off. Well, I should get back. Those kids probably don't know what in the hell they're doing. Ooh, heck, can we say hell here?
It sounds like you're in one, so yeah.
You immediately get transported home.
Diagonally.
All right, so Sildar
It's gone.
leaves, and
He is disapparated.
yep. And so you're free to finish your drinks, have a little bit more conversation. Was there anything in particular you wanted to speak about before we sort of wrap up this evening?
So, we had a shot. Guys, are we a coven? Rose's head just kind of lilts to the side.
I mean, we do all use magic, and there are 3 of us. We are ladies. And Navarre's just making a gesture where she's checking the boxes in the air.
All right, so you can, spend the rest of your night here, and then on your way back, I guess Rose and Navarre are still staying at the Stonehill Inn, and Riot, you're still going back to Alderleaf?
Yeah.
I think, Rose, you wanted to do something.
Yeah. Did you guys want to meet up tomorrow morning, kind of start the day together? This past fortnight has been quite intense in ways. I was going to go start the morning with kind of a collect everything meditation, and I was wondering if you wanted to join me.
That sounds nice. Does that mean I have to get up early?
Well, you don't have to, but the earlier we do it, the less sunshine there'll be.
Nice.
Ooh.
Oh, I see what you did there. Can we at least make sure there's breakfast involved?
Oh, of course. Well, yeah. We'll get breakfast, then we'll go do this.
Yeah, at the very least, like a Bannock Brothers bagel or something.
Yes. Yes. How many more of those gluten-free
Breads.
loaves do we have?
I think we just got the one.
Only one.
We could grab a few more from the Sleeping Giant before we leave.
Oh, sure. Maybe some soft cheese to add to it in the morning.
Always some soft cheese.
Well, you can go up to the counter and get some chets, and Davor has added a new feature to his baked goods. It's a chet stick. It's a cheesy breadstick.
Oh, I gotta try that. Navarre gets two for herself.
And so you can pack that up and head off to sleep. Riot, by the time you get to the farm, everybody's the lights are out, so you can head up into the hayloft, and then in the morning you grab your breakfast and head off to the town green.
Excellent.
Which I totally told people to meet me at.
Riot sees Rose. Hello, I'm here for my trauma counseling, I believe, or something. I've got...
It's whatever you need it to be.
Oh,
I
got
mean-
serious real fast. Hold on, can we have some breakfast first?
No, but I've got years, Rose. Years. No, it's good food.
Rose is suddenly having doubts.
Did we bring like a little picnic blanket or something? We can lay down so we can all sit in a circle and have our bread.
You can.
Yes.
I was just planning to sit on the grass because it's good to kind of feel
Oh,
the
right.
grass.
Minimalistic monk. Okay. Navarre will take off her cloak and lay it on the grass so that we can sit and have our breakfast together.
That's fair.
All right, so after breakfast, you are sated, and Rose can lead you in meditation.
Okay, so everyone. You can lie down or you can sit. I like to sit, just because when I lie down, I do tend to fall asleep.
Oh. Well, now if I lay down, you're probably going to know. I'll sit up. Navarre rolls her eyes.
Okay. Get comfortable. Close your eyes. And kind of begin focusing on your breathing. Don't try to force it. Just breathe normally, but try to watch your breath go in and out of your body so that you're very relaxed and you're not paying attention to anything else that's going on around you. Don't pay attention to those other things going on around you.
Rose like
As
stealing gold.
As you say that, Sildar walks by the town green, and he's like, "Ladies, hello! Hello, are you stopping by today? Are we going to see you? Hello."
Absolutely. Later. I mean, Sildar, do you need to meditate?
No, it's racquetball for me today. Sounds off.
Is he wearing two
Oh my god, is he wearing like sweatbands?
Please tell me it's like tall socks and shorts.
Yes, of course. Of course.
wearing like crotch skimmers?
Of course.
Can we see his knees?
Yes, his knobby old man knees. He's very proud of them. Sorry. He walks by. He's so excited to see you. That's it. That was your first test.
We failed.
Whoops. Failed.
Sorry, Rose.
Okay, it's okay. Reclose your eyes. Okay. We'll skip that breathing part. just assume that you're breathing. I'm going to assume that you're breathing. If you pass out, I will do something to help you. But imagine yourself sitting at the side of a lake. You can decide if it's a big lake, small lake, calm, choppy from wind. Is it clear? Is it muddy? Think about how the lake rests in kind of the basin of the land, how it's contained and embraced. And as you continue to breathe, Rose kind of like looks at them, makes sure that they're still breathing.
Navarre may be sleeping. It's hard to tell.
Rose shrugs her shoulders. As you continue to breathe, picture yourself merging with the lake so that just as the lake is being embraced by the land around it, you too are embraced and embraced with compassion. So you have your big hug. Now that you are breathing as the lake, you're starting to see that the surface of the water reflects whatever is kind of coming up from you. It can be memories, thoughts. Some moments might be crystal clear and still, like looking at a mirror. Others might be very turbulent and produce a choppy lake full of ripples. But this is your time to kind of sit, and it'll end with a bell, but as you sit here in stillness, just observe all these things that are kind of coming to the surface of the lake, and it'll help with processing the last couple weeks here in Phandalin and thereabouts.
All right, so as you're meditating, I need you all to make a wisdom check for me.
Oh. The monk too?
Yes, please.
Bam, bam, bam.
The monk gets advantage.
Oh, thank God, because that was a critical fail. Hold on. We're off the table.
Okay. Navarre, did I hear a 20?
Yes, you did. 22 total.
All right. And Riot?
Riot got a 6.
Okay.
Rose got a 12.
Okay.
Who knew Navarre was a champ at meditating?
Don't knock it till you try it.
All right. So I'm gonna go to Riot first. So with you, as you're trying to meditate and concentrate on what Rose is saying, well, let me know what you're doing. Like, are you trying to concentrate? Are you distracted?
Riot is trying to let go, maybe a little bit of, not the responsibilities, but just kind of like, she likes being out in nature and or she does now. And anytime she can be, she just kind of like takes it all in so she can hear like the wind rustling in the grass. And the sound of like little animals rustling around and flies buzzing. So yeah, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm going to say that, part of your distraction from meditation is that you are so attuned to all these sounds that you never really grew up with. But when Rose is talking about the water imagery, something comes to you. So the sound of water will always remind you of Fatima. And what comes to you is this memory back in the tower. And with your vantage point at the top of the tower that you once called home, you could sometimes see the shape of her lurking in the moat below. Any foolish mortals who attempted to swim across in order to sneak in would meet their watery graves there. Just a quick stab of a triton was all it would take to ruddy the water. The violent splash was always a dead giveaway. You can almost hear her warning. Keep your eyes on the sky, Dumpsty! And it breaks you out of meditation.
What a good nickname. Oh, sorry, I'm talking.
All right, and now with Rose, as you focus on the imagery, a memory from the monastery comes to you from a long, long time ago. You were still new to life there, finding your way around. Mm-hmm. You couldn't deny, though, that you were really saddened to have been sent away by your family. Like somehow you were, I don't know, like damaged goods. Who could you talk to without sounding ungrateful? And the abbot seemed like such an imposing figure whose knowledge almost knew no bounds. You thought you were being sneaky this one time, trying to tiptoe across the courtyard where the abbot was meditating at dusk. But as you're wont to do, you tripped and knocked over a water urn. And you panicked because the urn seemed like it was a thing of value. And the abbot rose and quietly stalked over to you. What did you say to him in that moment?
I'm so sorry. I could try to fix it?
He nodded, and he showed you that day how he was capable of shaping the elements, and he repaired the urn, melting metal to seal the cracks. And then as he admired the silvery veins now present on the urn's surface, he said to you, "There. Now it is more beautiful for having been broken." And you still carry those warm words with you in your heart as you meditate peacefully.
A little tear rolls down Rose's face.
Now, Navarre, you are full-on concentrating here, I guess. Tell me what you're thinking.
I think she's surprisingly good at it because she likes to partake in things that help her get into an altered state, like booze, for example. So I think she didn't even realize how capable she would be at, meditating and getting her mind completely still and sort of elevated to like a higher place of understanding, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And as you're feeling this really deep connection, you get a sense of something really powerful, like sort of taking a hold of you. You sense a trickle of water on your face. Rain, no, tears. Uncontrollable tears. A memory floods your mind, one that you tried to push out of your thoughts. It has traveled with you for as long as you parted ways with your father. Here it is again. You were brave then. You needed to be. You needed him to know you'd be fine on your own as he headed back home to Saucel. He went north and left you to find your own path. Only when his silhouette disappeared into the crowd did you duck away. You cried then. And as you do so now, in the present, somehow you are calmed. Through your tears, the vision blurs, and you take in a new scene, this one unfamiliar. There he is again, your father, in a sparsely decorated home. Although his face glows in the light of a fire as he sits by a hearth, he seems older, tired, as though the time on his own has worn away at him. Then he clutches at his heart and doubles over, collapsing from his armchair. A coldness sweeps over your skin, freezing your tears. Your patron speaks to you then and says, "Child of sorrow, it is time to fly home."
Navarre's eyes open suddenly, and she sort of realizes where she is, and she kind of looks at Rose and Riot to see if their eyes are open, as she's quickly wiping tears away from her eyes.
And are they?
Rose's eyes are kind of open, but she's looking down at the grass just beyond her crossed feet.
Right. Like a focal point.
Yeah. I just kind of thinking about what that memory she had just seen and thinking about the abbot and kind of what she needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Riot saw both of them crying. So she's apparently not great at meditating, and then is wondering if she's dead on the inside. And can't quite do it right. Oh, it takes practice or something, I guess.
It does. We'll blame Sildar. It took me, probably 7 months to really get meditation down. I kept getting an itchy nose the first time I did it. And then another time, a spider crawled across me, which was just not cool.
All right. So you can spend, a little bit more time here meditating if you want, or sharing more bread. At this point, Sildar is probably coming back from his racquetball game.
Is he all sweaty?
Yeah.
How'd it go, Sildar? Did you win?
He's, heaving and hoeing, like, very much like... winning? No. We play, it's for the fun of it, really. It's not about winning or losing. Points were made, points were had, fun was had. It was a great time.
So the sign on the town message board about the racquetball championship, winner takes all meant nothing? Means nothing?
Well, these are just practice rounds. So, no one's really keeping score. We're just getting in shape for that tournament. But
Training
it's an emotional tournament.
Oh, Rose. Yes, you could say that. I might need to join you in one of those meditation sessions. I think that maybe it would help in my game a little bit. I don't know. That looked like fun.
Maybe next time we do it.
That sounds great. Just not on Wednesdays, not on racquetball day. That's all I'm going to say. Any other day, and I'll be there.
Sounds good.
And I think you need to turn your voice down when you meditate, too.
It's about quiet contemplation.
He puts his finger up to his mouth, and he just gives you, like, a nod, like, yes, get it. Got it.
All right, so you can follow Sildar back to the Hallwinter house.
He's kind of quick. He's got a quick step because he also has left the 3 children here, and they barely know each other. He's a little frightened what he's going to find.
Rose leans over to Navarre and says, "Just to clarify, she's going by Winter Hallwinter?"
I had the same thought. But, you know what? I had that thought, and then I was also like, well, maybe she's just going by Winter. Mm-hmm. That's kind of chic. Just Winter.
Yeah, drop the Hall, drop the Alana, just go by Winter.
Just Winter. I mean, either way, I approve.
Yeah, Sildar calls inside. Winter, your friends are here.
You can hear like tween. And then she sort of appears from the back. She's been in the backyard, and the 2 little ones are sort of trailing behind her, just looking completely lost, and all of their hands are sort of like covered in ink.
We got some art projects going on, huh?
Yeah, and so the 2 little ones in particular are just sort of like they've got wandering hands, so the ink is going everywhere.
When they try to hug us, Rose kind of like grabs them by the wrist and like turns them around and gives them kind of a backwards hug, like, "That's great, pat on the back, good job. I like this fabric."
We're making raven feathers.
Ooh, I love that idea. Can I see?
Sure. And they take you out to the back, and yeah, there's just like a whole basket, as Sildar mentioned. It's one basket is filled with feathers, and then there's a whole bunch of feathers that have been sort of dipped in black ink and are just like I don't know, like clustered and stuck together. The kids weren't doing such a great job because they just like dunked whole clusters of feathers together. Whereas you can see there are some other ones that are more pristine and almost like very evenly covered. And Winter just sort of crosses her arms and looks at her handiwork and doesn't say anything.
These are pretty cool. I like the different color variations with the black on top of the natural colors. Neat idea.
Thanks. I was trying to find blue feathers because, ravens have that sort of blue undertone, but I couldn't find any actual raven feathers. And she just sort of side-eyes you.
Well, maybe I can help you with that. And Navarre reaches into a satchel and pulls out the small bags of cracked corn and sunflower seeds. Navarre's looking around the backyard, and she goes, "Where do you think would be a good spot to leave some snacks for ravens?"
Her eyes go a little wide, and she's like, she freezes a little. I don't... Maybe your raven can tell us?
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. She turns to Quoth and says, "Quoth, if you were visiting this backyard, where would you like to go?" And Quoth flies off her shoulder and kind of goes up a bit and circles around the backyard and then lands toward the back corner. And there's a little bit of brush, so it's kind of hard to see where he landed at first. So she puts her hand gently on Alana's shoulder, or Winter's shoulder, and says, "Oh, let's go see where he picked out." And there's a stump that Quoth landed on.
Nice.
And she looks at Winter and smiles and goes, "I think this will be a perfect spot." She takes the bags of seed and corn and sprinkles them on the top of the stump. And she goes, "Cracked corn and sunflower seeds are a favorite of ravens." And she puts some in her palm and holds them out for Quoth to nibble on.
Oh.
Quoth pecks some out of her hand and she goes, "But, you've never set up a little snack bar for ravens before, so how do you think they'll know it's here?" And she's just sort of like smirking a little bit, looking at Winter to see if Winter will put two and two together.
Her face kind of goes a little red, and she's like, "Oh, right. Yeah. So cracked corn and sunflower seeds, right?"
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got those. But what can we do to get their attention, you think?
They pick out shiny things, right? Jewels.
Ooh,
I don't have any jewelry.
She reaches in her satchel and holds her palm out with the beads and the sling bullets. And she sort of kind of rotates her palm a little bit so that the sunlight will glint off them. And she goes, "How about these? You think these will do the trick?"
She nods emphatically.
Navarre holds her hand out to put it into Winter's hands.
And she takes it, and she's like eagerly sort of spreads it around, trying to make it spread out in some sort of geometrical pattern so that it's like fully covering all edges of the tree trunk. She's like, "You know everything about ravens. Can you tell me more?"
Well, I don't know if I know everything. Quoth and I have only been hanging out for a little while now, but I do know that, like I said, their favorite snack is cracked corn or sunflower seeds. They also like peanuts, so if you ever have any of those, bring them out here. And she hands the leftover in the bags to Winter. And she says, "And like you said, these shiny trinkets will catch their eye. And I bet you they'll come by soon enough. And when they come, Just make sure that you don't do anything to scare them off. Make sure there's no dogs or cats in your backyard. I'm going to make sure that it's nice and quiet just for them. And feed them at the same time every day. They'll take notice. And you know what? Eventually, you're going to gain their trust. And you might even get them to eat right out of your hand. And Navarre holds her palm out again for Quoth.
Do you think one day I could, get a raven of my own, like Quoth?
Probably. Quoth is actually a special raven. He's a sentinel raven that was gifted to me. But I bet you could make friends with a wild raven.
She kind of tilts her head at you. Gifted? What do you mean?
Well, have you ever heard of the Raven Queen?
You said something about her.
Yeah, she is pretty cool. The Raven Queen, I kind of see her as like a mother figure. She looks over me and she watches out for me. And you know what? To be honest, I think she's looking out for you too. And she reaches in her satchel again and pulls out the 2 ribbons. And she says, "Remember how you left us ribbons to find you in the forest?"
Mm-hmm.
And she dangles the ribbons a bit in the air and she says, "Well, I found these before I found you. And I'm pretty sure the Raven Queen wants you to have these. And how is Winter's hair right now?"
She's tried to style it like Navarre's hair as best as she could. But she's got a dad who used to be a warrior and doesn't know about these kinds of things,
So Navarre reaches out toward her hair and says, "Do you mind?"
Oh, go. Yes, please.
So she tries to gently undo the attempted hairstyle. And she creates 2 braided ponies on each side, and she ties the black ribbon at the end of each. And she goes, yeah, there we go. That looks really good on you."
Thank you. At this point, I just need to know where everybody else is.
Rose is standing off to the side. She's pulled out a bundle from her rucksack, because she owes Alana something, but she's off to the side and kind of letting Winter and Navarre have their time.
Mm-hmm. And the 2 little kids are sort of not really sure what to do.
Yeah, I imagine they're trying to splatter Riot and I with ink.
I mean, I will say, I don't think you care where Sildar is, but Sildar is a bit of a neat freak, and he is following the kids who are dripping ink everywhere with a rag, and he's brushing ink from the wooden floors, where they had come into the house from the backyard, and smile the whole time, just happy to have them.
Riot is on her hands and knees, separating the feathers very carefully so that they could dry properly. Her hands are, they're black to begin with, so she's just kind of yeah, this is fine.
Make me a perception check.
Great. Oh, Kim, what's the noise of a tiefling fart? I mean,
It's a little fiery.
So,
I got 4 actually, or 5 with my natural one.
Well, one on either side of you, Malak and Aphenia, surprise you, and you've got 2 handprints of black ink on your cheeks.
Thank you. I bet I look pretty fierce. She kind of gives them a creepy toothy grin.
Rose, did you want to give your
Yeah.
item?
Winter, I think those feathers would really accessorize this. And I hand her the bundle.
Is this what I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
She holds it really close to her chest. Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope it fits. It should fit.
She just nods and she smiles over at Navarre in particular.
And Navarre's like, I'm going to have to see that on. I want to see the complete look. What do you say?
Okay. So she runs inside and gets dressed. And so Rose and Riot, did you still want to stick around while this is happening, or?
I'll wait to see her come out with it, but then I'll kind of wave and depart.
All right. So after a few minutes, you see Winter at the back door again, and maybe Rose, you can describe the bespoke outfit that you made for her.
So she has, it's 3 pieces. She has a nice long, but not too long, black cloak, and also a fitted bodice and some stylish but flexible pants that she can adventure in. She looks quite sassy.
My goodness, that sounds adorable.
On top of that, she's also brought down the sword that her dad gave her, and it's like wrapped around her waist on a belt. And she's just standing there sort of like looking down, and her cheeks are a little bit flush.
Navarre just gives a huge thumbs up. And she's
Rose
like,
also gives a thumbs up.
Yeah. She's like, that is the coolest looking little adventure I've ever seen in my life.
What does Sildar have to say?
That looks comfortable. I can't wait to get. Oh wow. Thank you, Rose. I think this completes the winter transformation. Darling, you look lovely. And he's trying to be as genuine as he possibly can.
And when you say lovely, she just like, and looks up in the sky.
Fierce. Fierce.
Fierce? You look fierce. You look like a tiger. Like a tiger?
There's no orange in this outfit.
No. Ray's just nodding her head up and down. She's like, oh, this is a production. Yes.
He's
Navarre
trying so hard.
confirms. Lovely as a raven on a midnight eve.
Yes, exactly what I was going for. Anyone would have told you that. Yes, of course.
Rose puts her hand on Sildar's shoulder and leans over and says, the bodice has extra padding to reduce the impact of hits. So it's not just stylish, it's functional. And a little bit of protective. She'll need, if she actually adventures, she'll probably want proper armor over this, but even without armor, this gives her a little bit of protection.
Well, maybe I'll have to go a little bit harder on you in our training sessions then.
Ugh, Dad. And she just like walks away. But then she like sort of like walks past her dad and then gives Rose like this really warm hug.
Aww.
I hug her back.
And
Since teenagers don't always hug.
yeah.
I'll take what I can get.
Yeah. And then she's gonna just sort of wander back over to Navarre and talk about ravens and
Yep. Rose heads out.
Yeah, right, does too. Peace, Sildar.
Can Sildar follow Riot out?
yeah.
Is that possible? Not in a creepy way. Just in a normal way.
No one thought it was creepy until now.
Listen, there have been a lot of rumors on the forums, and I have to just...
All right, we will pick up Sildar and Riot's conversation as soon as we wrap up with Navarre here. Is there anything else that Navarre wants to do with Winter?
No, she just wants to take another look at the stump as they head out of the backyard and say, now remember, you make sure you feed those ravens at the same time every day. I wanna get a message from a raven someday letting me know that you have a whole flock of them in your backyard.
She nods. I hope so.
I bet you can do it. I believe in you. And she like gives like a cheesy, playful wink.
And she laughs and just sort of waves goodbye.
Navarre waves at all the children and with both hands awkwardly, like so that the kids can wave back to her with both hands and show their inky black palms.
Yeah, they do exactly that. And like there's ink dripping on their faces and everything.
Yes, that's exact mental image that Navarre wanted to walk away with.
All right, so Navarre has wrapped up with her visit to Winter. As she does that, we can go over to Riot and Sildar, who are making their way back through to the town hall and Alderley Farm.
So Sildar asks Riot if she wouldn't mind stopping by the town hall quickly while he grabs something for her.
No, not at all. We're not getting married, right?
Nothing quite so special, I have to say. You'd be so lucky, wouldn't you? Ugh, you're funny. So he runs in. He just tells her to wait outside, and he just runs in and returns with a book in his hands, and says, "I'm not sure what this is, but Lita asked me to give this to you, so I wanted to make sure you have this. It completely slipped my mind yesterday, but this is for you." And he just hands it off to her.
I think this is the book about Melita Silversong. Thank you so much. I can't wait.
You're welcome. I wanted to ask you, what you posted on the board, had anyone approached you about anything about your siblings?
Not yet. And Riot's like pointing at the board where you could see like the three little. Wait, are you going to tell me what to do?
No, I was just going to say you're lucky because I have been approached nonstop with the most ridiculous things you could ever hear, right? People have been claiming, hands outstretched for a reward, claiming they've seen, webbed feet swimming in a fountain, and every stray dog anyone comes across, they bring it in and say, "Here, look, I found one of the siblings. Here it is." And it's taking up an incredible amount of my time. I must say, it's unbelievable claims. They want a gold piece for each little snippet of information, which is, information in quotes, if you know what I mean. It's just, I understand you're trying to look for your siblings, but man, people are just crazy dishonest. I'm going to tell you, they're. I wish I had better information. I wish I had better news for you. I have nothing. I have absolutely zilch.
Riot's kind of blowing air out of her mouth, like trying not to laugh. She's like, when I posted those pictures of the three of them, I probably should have asked you before I left those little tear off dangly bits that told them to leave information with you. And I really apologize. I just knew we were out on that mission to get to fight Delcy, and that you would, I honestly didn't think you'd get that many.
That makes a lot of sense. But if people in this town are to be believed, you'd think there were Tritons running all over the place, because the amount of sightings we've heard about are just, oof. Need to start some kind of paper chain hotline or something. It's really. It's unbelievable. Did
you write down any that sounded,
Riot, there were none. There was nothing. There was nothing.
I would like to know how you know that they were,
A 16-year-old boy brought in a stray dog he found in his farm, covered with fleas, just gray, matted, ugly dog, and claimed it was one of your siblings. Does that sound right?
It kind of does sound like Karen.
A sickly dog.
No, yeah, she actually was pretty good about the fleas. She did have matted hair. So
it had to be taken back outside. You could go look for it, I suppose, but put a bone out or something. I don't know. It was this.
As you're saying this, you notice in the town square, there are all these hobby characters that are, sort of hanging about. But they're not really gathered around the bulletin board. It looks like they're throwing things at targets. And Daver is amongst them, handing out pieces of petrified bread. And they're trying to throw these pieces of bread at targets in the town square. And there are stray dogs sort of around the perimeter, sort of like chomping up the petrified bread. And the hobby characters are getting a little annoyed that their pieces are being eaten. And Daver just says, "Well, to be sure, the life of a Chet is one of sacrifice." And he just hands out more.
Well, there you go. Talk to any one of those fine hobby characters, and you'll get many a story about Yanti running about the place. Go ahead. There they are. Adventurers, they think. Ay.
Sildar, Yanti can't run. They slither.
Slithering, of course.
Well,
this is how I knew the stories were fake. These people have never seen a Yanti in their life.
So, wait, do you know what this game's called?
I don't.
Is it like a Chetzi or something?
Something of that nature. I think that Daver is capitalizing on this opportunity here. So.
I mean, I think it's wonderful. It's hilarious.
As you continue your conversation, that elderly wizard that you saw at the Sleeping Giant sort of meanders into a town square, and he comes over to the bulletin board. Again, he's smoking his pipe. He's got his long silvery beard that he's just sort of stroking, looking at all the postings on the board.
Oof, that man. Whew. Can you tell he's a little kooky from over here? Do you get that vibe about him? Ugh. He's been asking questions about Volo, just like Delcy was. Although Delcy seemed to like Master Volo. This guy, maybe not so fond of him. I can't get a read on him just yet, but strange old man. Finally, I'm not the oldest man in town, though. Right?
Oh no, he's at least got a year on you.
Oh.
Does Riot recognize this old wizard?
You could probably do like an investigation check also and see.
Riot is rolling dumpster style tonight. Got a 10.
I
mean, for all you know, this could be Gandalf. Like he's just like he's.
Oh, does Gandalf exist in fiction?
Am I crossing streams? Oh no! A portal just opened in this universe. No. Okay.
Sildar, if you want, I'll go check out Albus Dumbleold over here, okay?
I don't get the reference, but it sounds funny.
I can make sure he's not a Delcy for you.
All right, Riot, are you going to address this elderly gentleman?
Oh, yeah. The tally-ho and orange and pepper beard wax and whatnot. And she walks over to the guy, like she's not sure how wizards greet each other.
He's just got his like coal black eyes sort of trained on a posting, puffing on his pipe, and he leans down and one finger moves forward and it taps on Emre's picture. Interesting, he says.
Riot kind of slides in and puts her shoulder up against the bulletin board. Real cool, like, please don't make me roll for cool.
I was going to.
Oh, no, I'll do it.
Charisma?
What do I add to it?
Is it going to be persuasion, or are you deceiving him that you're cool?
No. She's just trying to be like, she doesn't want him to run away. So
performance.
All right. Oh, good, a 7.
Okay. So the way that things kind of went with Delcy, he just sort of shifts his eyes slightly over to you and says, Yuan-ti are not to be trifled with. And then he looks you up and down. Nor tieflings, he's sort of muses. Never trifle with tieflings. And then he just wanders off.
Yes, but actually, Trifle's my middle name, so we should. Do you recognize that Yuan-ti, sir?
He's just wandered off.
God, I can't throw anything at him without like
a chat.
Yes, yes. Right, leans down and grabs one before a dog fully gobs it up. And throws it at the bald spot in the back of his head, I'm assuming.
Well, he's wearing one of those droopy Gandalf-like wizard hats. So cool. How about you throw roll just a straight up d20.
12.
It sort of like catches the brim of his hat, and he pauses for a second, and he sucks on his pipe and says, and then continues to walk off.
Sir, Riot flaps her wings and like flies over him and lands in front of him. I'm so sorry to do this to you, but do you have information about that Yuan-ti?
Not that one in particular. He looks you up and down again. A cousin of yours?
Yes, absolutely. And I want to make sure he's not hurting anyone. If you know what I mean. Innocent people. She kind of like gestures in the entire village or town.
He nods and puffs on his pipe. Well, you and I both have similar interests then. We shall see.
Are you saying that in the royal we, or do you mean like we're going somewhere together?
Oh, I've still many, many questions to be answered. You seem to be in my way, though. Very important business to get on with.
All right, well, how about I walk with you for a spell? She kind of rolls her eyes. And you can tell me what you know about Yuan-tis. Maybe that one, maybe one like it.
Well, there have certainly been rumors about Master Volo, this and that. I'm merely here to investigate. All these fools around here. He shakes his head. Too many nasty things about for these fools to get caught up in. Merely here to... And he sort of looks around, and you're not really even sure what he's looking around at. He's a little bit spacey, and he just says, too many fools. Just sort of wanders off again.
I guess Riot's gonna give up. She's kind of... she's not sure if his information's even gonna be helpful. Seems like he's missing a page or two out of his spell book. Yeah, she's gonna head over to Alderleaf Farm then with her book because she really wants to dig into it.
Okay. Did you want to check your notice on the board, or?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yes. So she walks back over to the round robin, I guess, to see if anyone's written anything around the pictures of Emre, Fatima, or Karen. Yeah.
So you're sort of scanning the board for your posting again because like there are tons of postings there. And you see an ad for Sniv's Traps and Tunnels. There are a whole bunch of missing persons ads. Most of them are clearly hobby characters by the descriptions. One of them seems to be a legit adventurer, though, who went missing around Wave Echo Cave by the name of Andraste Rossonel. And you can get more information. You just sort of scan. So she was a member of a adventuring party that defeated the so-called Angry Eye. That sort of catches your attention.
Cool.
And the adventuring party's name, and there's a handsome reward of 300 gold pieces for the return. of this.
And can Riot take that notice off the board?
Yeah. Yes.
She's just kind of whistling and like untacking it.
Other than that, like your missing persons ad, like all those little tags have been removed except for the last one, and it's sort of like just half hanging there, but no further information.
All right. Well, just gonna leave him up there. Maybe does she have like a? Actually, I don't think I do. Let's see what's in my pack. See if I had like a dip quill or something to write on it.
You might be able to get one from Sildar, because you're just outside.
I run over to. Sorry.
You're just outside town, yeah.
Yeah. She runs into his office really fast. Can I borrow one more thing from you, just for a second?
Nope. And he smiles at you.
Cool. Okay, cool. She already had her hand on the quill and the bottle of ink and was backing out of the room.
Of course.
Thanks. Yeah. And then so she goes and writes, "Talk to Sildar" on her 3 pieces of paper. And then runs back in, thank you. A lovely day, yes.
Perfect. All right, so you head back to Alderley Farm, and as you're walking up the path to the farmhouse, you can see in the distance that Carp is tending to your potted shrub. You didn't really get a chance to see them last night because they were asleep. Make me another perception check.
Haha, 23. Yeah.
All right, so immediately you catch sight of a goblin. Its eyes are darting around nervously as it's sort of sneaking around the porch towards Carp.
All right. I'm gonna say, hey, Carp, why don't you come over here? I have something to show you.
So Carp picks up the pot. He sort of struggles with it. Just one moment, as he's struggling.
Riot says, like, I'm in hell. And she starts flapping over as fast as she can with her glaive out.
So what is your intention here?
Just to get in between him and the goblin, because she doesn't know.
Okay.
She's very afraid for him.
Okay. So as he's struggling with the pot, Carp doesn't actually notice you, taking out your weapon or anything. He's just very focused on making sure that the pot goes with him everywhere, even though it's incredibly heavy at this point. So you get between him and the goblin screams and just freezes. And Carp says, "Oh dear, one moment." And he races over to you and puts his hand on your hand. This is a goblin.
Yes, I know. Thank you, Carp, for the object lesson.
Oh, no. I don't mean to be, a know-it-all, because I'm sure you've seen goblins before. This is a goblin, who lives here now.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. She, puts her glaive away and...
The goblin has its hands over its head, and it's just sort of... It continues to scream, even though you've put your weapon away, and it's just staring up at you. He's seen rather a lot, as far as Mum and I can tell. I'm not quite sure how to calm him down, and Mum's gone to the market.
Riot reaches into her pack and pulls out a piece of the Saul bread that they got from the Bannock brothers and puts it in the goblin's mouth.
Oh my god. Do I have to roll for it to not choke to death? I don't know. Oh god, I got a 5. It starts choking on the bread.
No, good bread wasted. She starts to like pat the goblin on the back hard to get it to cough out the sol bread.
So it coughs it out, but now it's like terrified that you're trying to like brutalize it, and it's continuing to scream. So Carp's come over and he's kneeling down and he's like, it's all right, it's quite all right. This is a friend. You remember, friend? And I am going to attempt to persuade this goblin. The goblin starts to calm down a little bit, and it's not screaming anymore.
Great. Right. It's like kind of moves close to Carp to like be like, see, we're friends, like hand on the shoulder, like smiles.
And Carp does the same. He like stands really tall and he puts his hands on his hips and friends. So Carp explains to you, well, I realize this is rather shocking, or perhaps not. It was your idea, to be honest. Wayward home and all that. This is our first, I don't even know what to call him.
Like a client.
Sure. Yes, let's say that.
Patient is a little too, derogatory in this case.
I mean, he doesn't really speak very much. But be very careful because he's the last surviving member of the angry EYE tribe. So, we're trying to make a good home for him.
Do you know what happened to the rest of the goblins?
Oh, it was, rather awful. There was another adventuring party that came through here on their way to the Troll Claws. They found the angry EYE horde outside Wave Echo Cave, and the goblins were bringing offerings to their, quote-unquote god. It turned out to be a mind flayer. Would you believe it?
Oh, gosh, those are not cool. They do a lot of bad things. I'm not gonna enslave a lot of creatures. The Gith. I'm sure Volo's written about them.
Oh yes, he has indeed. I could recite some things, but
I'm cool. I don't, what's the goblin's name? Do you know?
He doesn't seem to have one. All we can get from him is if you say the EYE word, he goes rather bananas. So I'd rather you wouldn't, because it's rather annoying.
Yeah, no, I think I got a good preview a minute ago. So does he like what does he like to do?
Well, all I've been able to tell is when you do say the EYE word, he likes to shout about it quite loudly. And then he says, the angry EYE god burns all it sees, which is rather depressing if you ask me. So that's the reason why we tend not to say that word around here.
No, it makes sense. If I recall, they do like to dance, so maybe if you play music, you can get him, to do a little bit of exercise. I recall the dance they used to do to that god's name, but I don't want to trigger that memory.
Oh, let's not, please. He is rather interesting, though.
Oh, very.
Master Volo wasn't very nice about them. He said that those heathens have no appreciation for the finer things. Would you believe that he would say that?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, no, he probably didn't take the time, he had to write so many things about so many creatures that, he couldn't get into the nuances. Right, doesn't want to, insult Carp's favorite author. So.
Do you have your book in hand now, or is it in your satchel?
The Silversong book? Mm-hmm. Yes. The thing I just got,
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, what's that? He's trying to read the spine.
It's a book lent to me, which is a really cool thing, library lending. And it's hopefully got some answers to questions I have about an old adventuring party.
Oh, that's rather interesting. What do you think we should call this goblin fellow? Maybe he should like to learn how to read.
Oh, I'm sure he would. I could let you borrow this book after I'm done with it, but I'm sure there's some easier books you could start him off with, wouldn't you say?
Oh, I suppose so. But you must let me know about this adventuring group. I am very interested.
How about after I read it, you can read it and then you can give it back to Sildar? Does that sound like a good trade?
That sounds lovely. I'll keep my EYE on this fellow while you read.
All right. So can Riot go into the little kitchen they have?
Yeah, sure.
And she puts a little pot of water over the fire, and pulls a little packet of tea out of her bag and gets one of their little earthstone cups, and she's gonna get it all ready. She starts flipping through the pages of the book, and the smell of the ink on the page being warmed by the sun filtering through the windows is quite enticing.
And there's like that leathery, dusty smell too, because it's been in Lita's possession in the attic for quite some time.
Absolutely. Does she notice the name?
So at the very start of the book, you see that these are the Chronicles of Melita Silversong in the final years before the Sistren Circle disbanded. It sort of explains that it was primarily an all-female adventuring group of 5 to 6 that would change over time as some retired or others fell in combat. You do see several names listed in the front. Some of them are crossed out, but the members that you note are Melita Silversong, a human bard of the College of Lore, and you do see Daria Dewdrizzle, a water genasi ranger of the coast. There's others too, Eldest Fireforge, dwarf cleric of the Forge Domain, Drusilla Meliamne, an elf arcane archer, Rifa Nassar, a hobgoblin war mage, and Corsia Baufa, a human monk of the Way of the Elements.
Oh, cool. She instantly flips open to the Daria Dewdrizzle part, not even noticing that the water is starting to bubble and boil over the pot.
Well, it's these chronicles that aren't necessarily told by adventurer necessarily. So you would just sort of like flip through
and read the entire thing.
Well, you could like look for passages that have Daria's name. I think this would also be like an investigation check to sort of go through and find specific information if you wanted to do that.
Okay. 15.
All right. So one thing that you find from the book is it's about Daria singing to village children. And by Melita Silversong's account, the song that she would sing could make water dance. You find sheet music as transcribed by the bard. Most of the lyrics are faded, but you can still read the notes of the melancholy tune if you wanted to play that at some point.
Oh, yeah. She's probably going to pull out some paper and kind of like look around. Can she copy, I guess, the musical pages?
If she,
what I'm asking,
if she takes some time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. She wants to be able to take this with her, but doesn't want to steal a book.
Yes. And there is one other story that you're specifically, I think, looking for. And it's the story of Daria's disappearance or death.
Yeah, when she was fighting the
Yeah.
Stormcloud giant.
Yeah. So the details are slightly different from the tale that you had read back in the tower. According to Melita, the Sistren Circle, they were deep in combat with the Red Wizards when they summoned a fire elemental that caused a wildfire. Daria had fallen in combat at that point, and with what seemed to be her last breath, she called forth a storm giant quintessent named Halvard to assist them. And Halvard appeared in the form of a great squall to put out the wildfire and combat the wizards and fire elemental and help the Sistren Circle and their allies. According to Melita, Halvard carried in his great haversack Daria's tombstone, and he had promised to bury her where the moon meets the sea. And by the bard's account, that was precisely what he had come to do when he wrapped the water genasi in his arms and carried her off in the storm.
Cool. Riot's sees a little bit of ink on the page start to bleed out as she realizes that she's now crying. Having uncovered a little bit of information, or at least new information. She goes, guess I'm not dead on the inside anyway. And she is like writing down like her notes, where the moon meets the sea. Cool. That's so sad.
Is there anything else that you wanted to do during your downtime?
Just kind of pet her, awakened shrub, because she's Riot's not really a jealous type, but she's kind of concerned. She doesn't know the magic of awakened shrubs and is worried, even though she planted the shrub, since it's been watered by Carp, it might only listen to him. So she's talking to it a lot, adding some sweet, sweet bugs to the soil,
Nice. Well, Carp has a new friend now, so he's off, trying to teach this little goblin how to read, and he's teaching him from Polo's Guide.
I thought I'd ask if there was an easier book. God, I hope he skips over the goblin part. Could be racist.
All right, so Rose, let's move on to you. What would Rose like to do during her downtime after she parts ways with Navarre and Sildar and Riot?
She is actually gonna kind of try to subtly walk out of town and head back into Neverwinter Wood somewhat briskly. She wants to investigate a little bit more about this dark sisterhood that the hags spoke of and claimed they were.
All right. So you follow the same path that Sildar had pointed out to you. You head north towards Neverwinter and into Neverwinter Wood. I need you to do an intelligence check to remember the path.
Okay. That's an 11.
Okay, so you stand there for a little bit, and it takes you a while, but you remember which path led to the hag hut. And as
look, I found where I tripped on that route.
Yes. And you make your way through. You find the area where you had made the circle around the tree. The other stone that you'd left behind is still there. It's a clear crystal. It seems like
What's the butterfly status?
the butterflies seem like they're behaving very normally.
Okay. I'm gonna attempt to pick up this stone.
All right.
This clear crystal stone. Clear crystal.
And you pick it up. And nothing happens.
Okay.
No, a
Checking.
butterfly lands on your face.
Violet! Violet! Okay, we're good. Pocket it.
Yes. So yeah, you can make your way through the area that had been darkened where you picked up the black crystal. There's nothing really to stop you from going further, and then you
I continue on.
You find your way at the clearing where the hag hut is.
Okay, kind of like, kind of fuss and kind of knead my hands together, take a deep breath, and approach the hut and knock on the door.
Just as you do that, the door swings open, and
not gonna get used to that.
And an elderly human man, who you might have noticed at the Sleeping Giant, steps out of the shack. He's dressed in these long robes with a drooping wizard hat, carries a staff. And when you cross paths at the threshold there, his mouth curls into a smile around his smoking pipe. Come for some tea, have you?
Sure.
He sort of slowly closes the door behind him, and he fishes around his robes and produces a potion for you. Here, he says, think of it as an aperitif. And with that, he gives you the potion bottle, winks, and ambles away.
So is he leaving or going somewhere else in the...
Oh, he's leaving the clearing. He's just leaving you behind with this potion.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just waves.
Rose waves back, somewhat befuddled and amused, curious. What does it look like?
It looks like a fairly clear potion. If you do Arcana check.
Oh, a 1. Not natural.
Not sure. I mean, you could.
Can I sniff it?
you could always try to ask him, but he's towards the edge of the clearing at this point.
So I drink this now?
If you're going to drink tea there, I'd advise it.
Oh, okay. I uncork it and drink it.
Okay. So you just feel like this energy coursing through you, and so inside you hear the hags talking, and somebody sort of shuffles towards the door, and it creaks open, and you see a really, really large hag, and the large hag is a good 8 feet tall.
Oh.
She's hunchbacked with humped shoulders, and she's just sort of like, it looks like she's made out of knotted wood.
So to clarify, she's 8 feet while hunched over?
Yes.
Okay.
But you
5 foot Rose is like,
yeah.
Oh, hi.
But you recognize her voice immediately, and it's like, oh, dearie, you've come back to strike a bargain, I suppose.
Auntie Buck?
Yes, indeed.
Hi.
And she welcomes you inside, and there you see Granny Rug around a cauldron. And she looks a little bit different too. So you're sort of realizing that whatever illusory magic had been there before has sort of dissipated with the absence of Delcy. And Granny Rug is, she looks very icy.
Okay.
Her skin is sort of like this blue-white, almost like she's been frozen to death. And her hair is really pale white, very emaciated.
And she's not melting over this cauldron.
No. Her eyes are incredibly pale, surrounded by dark, bruise-colored flesh.
You guys look different.
Oh, indeed. There was magics about last time. And the room inside, it still appears bigger than it looks like on the outside, but it doesn't seem to have as many branching off rooms as it did the last time.
Oh, thank goodness. Rose just stays fairly stationary, just having experience with movement through rooms last time.
Yes.
just gonna stay still.
Oh, we had a lovely visit with that master wizard. He was quite charming. Made us laugh with the greatest stories and limericks.
I saw him in Phandalin briefly.
Oh.
For a moment, I thought he might have been your third coven member, but then he left.
No. You don't know how covens work if you think that someone with the name Master would be part of it.
Yeah, I guess I really don't.
Now, what can we do for you, dearie?
I'm very curious about the Dark Sisterhood.
Well, you know what they say about curiosity. And they smile.
I'm not a cat.
Oh, pity. Oh,
I'm nimble.
What is it that you seek?
I guess I'm trying to figure out what really the Dark Sisterhood is. Some of our legends out in Shulung, it's come up. The Dark Sisterhood has been associated with some of our legends, but I don't really understand it, and my abbot seemed surprised that Master Volo had encountered the Dark Sisterhood here in Phandalin area.
Shulung, you say? Which abbot sent you here?
The one in the mountains.
Which monastery are you?
The Monastery of the Five Stars.
Interesting. Well, Dark Sisterhood, we're just a group of covens.
Oh, so it's not just you and Granny, it's more than one coven.
Oh, yes, indeed. Many covens. We all keep an eye on each other, if you know what I mean.
Like, you take care of each other? Keep each other in check?
Well, you know, we have our own ways, and we don't want to get in each other's ways, so we keep to ourselves, and a coven is the greatest thing.
You've actually got me and my two companions discussing whether or not we're a coven.
Oh, dearie, you're all too pretty for that.
Maybe in a few decades.
Well, what other information are you looking for in particular, and what can we do for you?
Has anything sudden, like any weird... Well, weird. I take that word back. Anything recently that has been even more unusual than what you're used to encountering with the other covens?
Well,
Or even just in the world?
well, Delcy certainly was a surprise, wasn't she?
Yes.
There was some disruption in the Wave Echo Cave, but that's been dealt with. Mind flare, we surmise. But enough of that. Delcy was quite a problem. And we've paid you handsomely for it already.
Absolutely.
How about a tit for tat? I do love a good tale of woe. Tell me a story of your own. What's your most selfish act? Do regale me.
Oh, my most selfish act.
Oh, too many to choose from, eh?
No.
And I thought the tiefling might have been the bad apple of the bunch.
I had a sister once. We were very close when we were younger, and she died of a fever one winter. But before that, she had a trinket that some townsperson had, or some merchant had brought through our village. I wanted it so badly. And one stormy night when there was a lot of wind blowing through the house and some stuff got knocked over, I took that opportunity to snatch up the item, and I kept it. She thought it had gotten lost in the cleanup, and I never told her, and then she died of the fever, and she never knew that I had stolen it from her.
Oh, that's a delicious tale.
What about selfish stories attracts you?
Oh.
Why do you gravitate toward them?
I just enjoy the trials of your lot.
Humans?
Humans, humanoids, the lot of you. Your lives are ever so fragile, and sometimes you waste it. It's rather laughable.
How would you recommend we not waste it?
Oh. Well, that seems like telling secrets. There's a price for secrets.
A tangible price?
It depends on the secret. What you're asking for is, well, rather intangible, wouldn't you say?
That's true.
Tit for tat and all that, dearie. Now, this monastery and Delcy and the strange goings-on. You seem to think there's a connection?
Our monastery, it's built over a mountain pass where one of our legendary heroes fought a dragon and reshaped the mountain.
Interesting.
She had done some traveling, and some of her journals mention the Dark Sisterhood. There's no other mention of them in our records except for her journals.
And you think that the Dark Sisterhood might know something? Well, perhaps we can come closer to the cauldron here. And, maybe we can look into it for you. But, you never did say what you would give for it.
Can I make you a cloak?
Granny Rug just sort of cackles a little. Do I look like I need a cloak?
Is that a rhetorical question?
Oh, dearie. Well, perhaps if we do you this favor, we can call upon you in the future to return it in kind.
I think I can agree to that.
Now, we need to be clear that we will call in this favor at such a time as we see fit, but otherwise, your life is forfeit. Is that a deal? And Granny Rug sort of like stretches out her cold, deathly, emaciated hand.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. And they set about the little room there, taking down bottles and dumping things into the cauldron. They make very busy work. And finally they say, and now just a strand of your hair, if you don't mind, dearie. And she plucks a piece of hair.
Ow!
Drops it into the cauldron. And you see them sort of like staring into the cauldron, and all you see is like this icky muck of stuff, of ooze that's sort of boiling on the cauldron. And sometimes you might think that there might be an eye in there. You're not really sure. Trying not to focus on it too much.
I'm breathing through my mouth.
Yes. Probably hoping they're not going to ask you to drink it.
Yeah. Being like, I really hope this liquid that I got from that wizard.
Eventually, after some time has passed, Granny Rug sort of comes out of this trance, and she looks to you and says, "You seek out one from the past, one not unlike yourself who made a bargain. We believe that what you look for lies in the Shadowfell."
Oh. Does Rose know that term?
You could do a history check, or you can ask them.
Let's do a history check to see if she knows what it is ahead of time, and she'll ask if she doesn't. Wow. That's a 2. So maybe it goes by another name in Shulung.
Sure.
Is she done with her full thing?
Basically, you think that she's pausing at least for a moment. Yeah.
Okay. Is the Shadowfell a physical place? A metaphysical place? Another plane?
Dearie, it is another plane. It is a parallel plane from which necrotic energies and shadow magic stem. It is what you might call an echo or reflection of this plane, except it is bleak, my dear.
Rose just kind of, a shiver just kind of goes down her spine, and she kind of shakes.
If you wish to enter the Shadowfell, you will need to find a shadow crossing, dearie. A shadow crossing, well, these are places where the veil between the material plane and the Shadowfell are so thin that creatures can walk from one plane to the other. It could be the blot of a shadow in the corner of a dusty crypt.
Rose's eyes dart to the shadowy corner and thinks back to the crypt in Chessendor Manor, and just kind of like her eyes get a little big, and she keeps listening.
It might be an open grave. The shadow crossings form in gloomy places where spirits or the stench of death lingers. You will find them on battlefields, in graveyards, in tombs, but they manifest only in darkness, closing at the very moment they feel light's kiss.
So they like darkness. And Rose just kind of taps her pocket that has the dark stone in it. Not really knowing what it does, but just like, okay.
They notice you tapping your pocket, and Granny Rug nods and says, "You have in your possession an item of great power."
I pull out the dark crystal. This?
Yes. They kind of stand back a little.
Did this help me at all the last time I was here? In my interactions with Delcy?
It did indeed. That there, dearie, is a nightmare stone.
Well, can't say I'm surprised by that name.
So they can explain to you what happened last time was that when you're in possession of the nightmare stone, you can actually move through a wall by succeeding on a DC 11 charisma saving throw. But on a failed save, you take 1d4 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. Basically, you run right into a wall.
Right.
It's really a shock Rose doesn't have more bludgeoning damage. Did it also help her with the, like, battling of the blights, or was that just a coincidence?
They don't believe that it gave you that power. Yeah.
Okay.
There are many things about that stone. I would not wish for that to fall into the wrong hands.
Yeah, I've definitely been wanting to keep it close. Rose doesn't pull out the white crystal stone because she doesn't really want... They might sense she has it, but she doesn't want them to know she has it.
Sure.
She says, passing through the forest, we encountered a clear crystal stone that was surrounded by surprisingly deadly butterflies. Is that also a nightmare stone?
No, dearie, that one would be the dream stone.
Oh, the dream stone.
Tit for tat. Dreams and nightmares.
Okay.
Everything in balance.
Just like when you light a candle, it casts a shadow.
Indeed. And for this plane, there is the shadow plane.
And I've got to find my way there.
Was there anything else that you wished to bargain for, dearie?
I fear that I may have already bargained away too many favors.
Well, dearie, you'll want to be communicating with us and vice versa, so Granny Roog rifles around her belongings, and she pulls out a stone and passes it to you, and explains that it's a sending stone.
Oh.
It's in the shape of a hideous skull.
Of course.
But basically, it's like a fantasy walkie-talkie. They've got one, you've got one, and they can communicate. You can each communicate with each other.
Thank you. I think.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Was there anything else that you wanted to do while you were in this part of the woods?
I'm curious to see what was on the other side of the clearing. Mm-hmm. Just peeking my head out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's not really much here. It's just a regular forest that happens to have this clearing with a hag hut in it.
You know, just your usual clearing with a hag hut. I'll thank them and be on my way because I think it's already been a while and I need to get back to Phandalin before it's tomorrow.
All right. We'll be speaking with you, dearie.
All right. I anticipate your sending. Thank you very much for the information. I think I might have some ideas of who I'm searching for.
Excellent. Rose, you wake up in the morning at the Stonehill Inn, and as you tend to do in the mornings, you check in on Navarre to see if she's interested in hanging out, and you knock on her door, but when you do, you find it's ajar.
Navarre? Navarre?
As you keep knocking, the door opens up a little bit more, and you look around, and it looks like she's all of her belongings are not there, and you notice on the bed that there's a letter.
I walk over and I pick up the letter, still kind of turning and surveying the room as I go.
There's a tap on the window, and you see Riot looking in.
Hey! Hey! Open the window!
They have doors.
Open the window!
Is this a slide window or hold on. I put down the letter.
Please? I should have said please.
just try to unlatch the... Man, this is a heavy glass. Hold on. Okay, Riot, can you fit faster?
Yes. Oh, okay, thank you. Sorry. There's a door to this room?
Riot, there's a door to all the rooms.
Well, I mean, for some people.
Is this how you've been picking up Navarre every morning?
Yeah. It's my way, you know? So,
How come?
Where is Navarre?
Well, either she's turned into a slip of paper, or she's not here. Her door was ajar when I got here. I was about to assume she went down and started cheese and eggs, but it doesn't look like that.
Oh, what does the paper say?
I have been a little too scared to open it. I have abandonment issues.
I have dismemberment issues, but that's different.
You have what?
Let's just read the letter.
Okay.
All right, so you open the letter, and it is addressed to both of you.
To Riot and Rose. I'm sorry to disappear so suddenly into the night, but I got some serious news that required I leave immediately. My father has fallen gravely ill. He's getting up there in years, and he's the only family I have, so, of course, I need to rush back to Sosal to be by his side. Also, I hate goodbyes. Very grateful to have met you both. We had some fun times here in Phandalin. I'm definitely bringing some good memories with me. Take care of yourselves, and remember, always be cool. Navarre. Oh, and P.S. Please deliver this parting gift to Winter, a feather, generously provided by Quoth, as a little something to remember me by.
Rose, do you have your torch?
I don't want to set this on fire.
No, I'm not going to set it off. Do you have your torch?
Yes?
Okay, can you do the thing, the cool thing?
Flick.
And Riot holds the letter, not in the flame, but over it, and like looks through the paper to see if there's like some sort of like secret writing. I'm just trying to see if this is like a prank or something, and maybe she wrote like
Or a ransom letter.
Oh yeah, exactly, yeah. There's no like lemon stain lettering coming through.
If you want to roll a investigation check.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's 7.
It looks like Navarre's handwriting, and you can't determine anything unusual about it.
Rose puts her hand on Riot's shoulder. I think maybe you're in denial?
I mean, I don't see. I guess some people have like, good fathers they want to work with or help, so it makes sense. We can't falter for that.
And now that I read this, I do remember her looking a little distraught after what should have been a peaceful meditation for all of us, and not sure it was.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can't promise to be cool, and I know you can't, so despite trying really hard, which I think is, again, the antithesis of being cool. I'm sorry, Rose, I'm lashing out. I'm sorry. And right, kind of like tries, like, holds out her arms for like a hug. And her wings. That's gonna be a double hug.
Rose's lower lip quivers, and she just kind of leans into the folds of the wings.
Mm-hmm.
But we were going to be a coven.
All right, so you head downstairs and confirm with the innkeeper that Navarre checked out in the middle of the night. And you can have your breakfast there and wrap up your downtime. One dame short of a coven.
Salty, wet eggs.
Yeah, Riot orders some of the Navarre's favorite ale for breakfast, too. Kind of pours some out on the floor. Mm.
Yep. Rose mixes a little bit of that into her tea to drown her to help drown her sorrows.
Yeah. I mean, these aren't good habits, Rose, but it's like a morning, if you will. So.
Morning in the morning.
Oh, gosh. So Riot turns to Rose, puts down her fork. Hey, you remember that book I got on Melita Silversong? And the systems?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was a little intro by a teaser Little Nib, and they wrote that the thing to remember was the Sistren Circle. The women got on and off it like a bus. Or I don't know what a bus is. It's probably a smudge, but
maybe get on and off is maybe not the phrase we want to use.
Yeah, I think they come and go like a caravan is probably what they meant to say. Again, it was written a while ago, so and I guess
we have a saying like that, kind of about the winds. How they'll come and go and bring the seasons and the birds with them.
Oh, that's beautiful. You should have written that intro.
Well, maybe they needed somebody from Shulong in their group.
Yeah, I agree.
You go about the rest of your day distracting each other from the news, and then it's twilight when you walk by the town green again, where earlier in the week, 3 of you had meditated together. Rose, you roll Quoth's black feather in your fingers while you and Riot pause, knowing you're soon to part ways for the night. Rose to Stonehill Inn, and Riot to Alderley Farm. You notice a familiar lone tree in the clearing, long dead. But tonight, its bare branches are filled. You can make out the shapes of ravens as they stir and weigh down the boughs. One caws, then another, and another. They cry in a chorus for the departed before taking flight into the evening. Hey, it's Kat again. The dames have bid farewell to one of their companions, but as Riot alluded to, we're going to have adventurers jump in and out of our story. Who knows, maybe one will join this little coven for the long haul. We have lots in store for the new season, which will start up later this summer. Until then, we've got a few more episodes following along in Volo's wake. If you like what we're doing, we'd really appreciate it if you could rate or review the podcast, like Ian Messick on Facebook, who says, "Genius! These ladies tear up Phandalin with their highly creative role-playing. The characters and their dungeon master are clever and find interesting ways to navigate this world. Laugh out loud funny." Thanks so much, Ian, for the kind words and for taking the time to leave that review. We're happy to provide laughs. We're also incredibly thankful to our listeners and for all the love you've shown us. If you want to reach out to us on social media, you can find all our links at d20dames.com. Anyway, that's it for now. Until next time, Misadventure awaits. D20 Dames is a production of Misadventure Awaits. Music by Middle Essence. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/D20Dames.